Hello and welcome back to Anastasia Speaks, where sacred spaces are created to heal the invisible scars and build communities of love, whilst illuminating the magic of you. I am Anastasia, your host, and today's episode is about walking the spiritual journey alone. Whether we believe it or know it, we all decided how we were going to enter this world and how we were to leave it. We're also going to leave it in the same way we came in, alone. Now, to some, this may sound morbid, this may sound like a downer, but this is a fact, and this should be a consoling matter of fact. This should be reassuring to trust and know the same essence, the same intelligence that got us here, the same vitality and life that breathed us into form is the same thing that is going to allow us to exit and also evolve, also change, and also transform into something else. This is significant because oftentimes we are ashamed of being labelled the lone wolf, or seek to justify it just because society has its way of pressuring us into boxes and making us fit into a box. Now, I'm not saying all boxes are bad, but I know that it just means limitations, and sometimes it means oppression. And we have to be aware of this and also find ways, labels, names that fit us better, that sounds and feels more in alignment to who we are, what we are. Growing up, always being part of a group, big or small, I could never say I had a place. I felt as though there was no specially designed or waiting place for me to fill, but I found my place anyway. I always moved different to the rest of the group, not to be different for the sake of it or purely being rebellious, but because I always chose the option to move in accordance with what I felt truest for me, in my heart and mind, and what felt most authentic. In doing this, I quickly realized I was always facing a challenge of being different and having to overcome how my differences made other people feel, how others would react to me, did react to me, and a sort of opposition and resistance being different created. I also quickly learned that being true to myself could offend some people. And it may rub people up the wrong way, and it did. But I would have complete peace, conviction, and confidence in every decision and move that I made. That no matter what happened, that couldn't be taken away from me. And that was something nobody could give me. That was something that I gave to myself, and no one taught me. It was something that found me, if you like, from finding my place and staying true to that. Which brings me to the quote by Brené Brown, which says, "No one belongs here more than you." I mean, I love that quote because it says so much, and we've got to learn to be okay with not fitting in. We have to learn to also stop being okay with constantly needing things to fill and validate us. We've got to be okay with being alone in our decision making, in our walking our certain paths, with being with ourselves, alone with ourselves, and finding our own strength, our own weaknesses, and still feel whole and still become who we want to be, to grow and have confidence and validate our own experiences, our own journeys, and allow our process to be our own. Allowing our processes to exist without seeking external validation or anything that's going to validate us. And growing up being different from everyone else definitely gave me this understanding very early. Recognizing in adulthood that we must be unafraid and being the only one walking our designated paths, our designated spiritual paths, because it was meant for us and us alone. We go through certain parts of our journeys alone to activate and accelerate the process of ascension, of evolution, our soul's evolution, eventually finding others alike who later can and do join us in our paths. There is a reason for this. We might not know why at the time. Usually we don't, but we should trust that we have the tools to overcome any obstacle we might face, and that there will always be someone or something close enough to hear us and see us when we need connection, signs, nudges most. Brené Brown also said, "Courage is a heart word. The root of the word courage is core, the Latin word for heart. In one of its earliest forms, the word courage meant to speak one's mind by telling all one's heart. Over time, this definition has changed, and today we typically associate courage with heroic and brave deeds. But in her opinion, this definition fails to recognize the inner strength and level of commitment required for us to actually speak honestly and openly about who we are and about our experiences, good and bad. Speaking from our heart is what I think of as ordinary courage. And I love that because so much of what we see today is people finding more of their voice and understanding that actually being themselves is courageous. And so with that, I'd like us to affirm these words throughout the week to help cement the energies of really integrating the parts of ourselves that still feel like we need to justify being alone, that we need to have people validate our paths and our journeys, and instead recognize that walking any part of our journeys alone is a part of our self-mastery, is a part of growth and ascension that only we can cultivate because we are the ones going through that specific journey. So you can write this down or say it out loud with me. I am surrounded by the intelligence of the Creator through the entire universe. Nature prompts and moves me in divine timing. I am never alone. I walk with ancestors and guides who came here before me. I am enough. I am here not to fit in, but to be uniquely myself. I trust myself, and I trust I am equipped enough to walk down my chosen spiritual path alone at times, to discover more pieces of myself. Continue to affirm these words, especially as you undertake the prompt that will follow, and always be kind with yourself. We've now reached the end of the show, and now is where I give you prompts for what I like to call soul work. These are timed creative writing prompts designed to take you a little deeper into self-reflection and discovery, to get those channels of creativity and divine insights opening more week after week, to help integrate the lessons along with the messages our souls have for us. This week's prompt is, I call in my soul tribe by being ... in the way that I ... Now for this prompt, you've just got to fill in the blanks. Allow yourself to write what comes to you. Don't filter yourselves. As always, be present. It's okay if you go a little bit over. It doesn't need to be perfect. You don't need to read it out loud. But you can share it with me under my comments, my social media section, if you like. But for now, you can join the tribe and connect over on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Clubhouse, searching Anastasia Speaks, or go to anastasiaspeaks.com for more. Remember, seeking more means you can no longer stay small. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe. The key is always radical self-acceptance. But just know, delay is not denial. Missteps happen so we get the chance to realign. And you are not alone. Love louder to release all fear. See you on the next episode.